All right, opening statement, then questions from players.
Yeah, just not an ideal first half. I'm not sure. I got to go watch the tape, but I just thought our defensive intensity was awful. Obviously, we scored 48 points in the first half. But we defensively giving up 50 to that team was not great. And I'm not sure if we just didn't believe that these guys were going to fight. I mean, we talked about it all week. If you look at you got to throw their record out the window. You got to look at their last 4 or 5 games. They've been in battles. I mean, they take Temple down to the buzzer. They take UAB down to the final minute. They're tied, or it's a 1-possession game at the under 4-minute media. Like, they're going to fight. I mean, it's college basketball. They're not going to quit. And we didn't approach the first half that way. I'm not sure why. We didn't fly around. We didn't make tough plays. We were careless. We didn't talk. And so we had a conversation at halftime. And we basically said, listen, we're gonna sub and we're gonna do things based on attitude and effort and just will in the second half. And if you don't play that way, I'm just gonna sub you out. And we did that on a couple occasions. And I think credit to these two guys sitting here. I thought that they played with a lot of heart in the second half and willed us to win. And sometimes you've got to. You got to send a message, and I thought we did that today in the second half. And so really proud of their effort. Again, I'm not going to sugarcoat things. We didn't play to our standard by any means, but it's tough to win college basketball games, and we got to win. So we'll take that and get ourselves ready for a tough one on Sunday.
Questions from players?
For both of you, to start there with, you haven't lost 2 games in a row yet. Do you do anything specific after a loss to make sure that doesn't happen?
Obviously, we get back in there and coach, lets us know where we went wrong. We go over film, and we learn from our mistakes. And we got a group of guys, that's built around camaraderie. And we know if we just keep playing together and keep working hard, we can get it done. So anytime we have a loss, we just go back, and see what we did wrong and know we got to learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, just like what he said, we come into practice every day, just like trying to get better, trying to see what we can correct our mistakes from really the last game if we lost or whatever the case may be. So that's all we do is just go to practice, ready to get better and correct our mistakes.
Gavin, you had no minutes in the first half, only 10 minutes over the past 8 games. Then you come in, 8 for 8 shooting, 21 points. Just take me through that mindset of coming off the bench like that and no minutes over the past 8 games. Just keeping through that mindset and your flow state throughout the second half.
And all my coaches, also head coach, just tell me to stay the course. And also my teammates in practice tell me to keep going, keep working. And everybody in the program has trust in me. So when I get out there, I just know I gotta do what I gotta do to stay on the court and just be ready when my number is called. I feel like I was able to do that today, so that was good.
Question for both of you again. I'll start with you this time. It looked like in the second half you amped up the pressure on defense. The coach said you had a conversation about that. How important was it to just get after them?
It was really important. That was I feel like that was the difference in the game. We came out a little flat on the defensive end, so we had to pick it up in the second half, big time.
I would say the same thing. We had our talk in the locker room, obviously. We knew we weren't playing the way we should have been on defense. So when we went out there, we knew we just had to pick it up. I feel like we did a pretty good job at that. We obviously picked it up the more the game went on in the second half, but I think just that talk at halftime, we knew what we were supposed to do. So I think we just picked it up in the second half.
Anything else for Gavin, Dev?
Gavin, how do you feel like you've grown since you've gotten to campus?
It's been great. I like Florida. It's pretty cool. So
That's how you've grown?
Oh, on campus? Obviously, practice and stuff. My coaches, they hold me accountable every day. So, yeah, I've definitely grown, coming in as a freshman, make some mistakes, but, just got to learn from it.
I think it's up in the air whether he's grown or not.
Yeah, I'm working on it still. I'm working on it.
No, before he leaves, he needs to hear, it is not easy to – what was the stat? How many minutes over the last –
It was 10 minutes over the last 8 games.
Okay, 10 minutes over the last 8 games. A lot of guys would quit on you at that point. I'm just being transparent. You can say, oh no, everybody's bought in. No, it's really hard. It's really hard, especially, let me take it back. A lot of freshmen, right? That's a struggle to stay engaged. You play 10 minutes over 8 games. You got a bunch of DNPs. His job on an every day is to run our scout team point guard position. And to stay the course, he obviously proved to us that he's locked in, because you don't come in and go 8 for 8, have 21 points plus 12, 3 assists, 1 turnover if you're not committed to the team's goals. And so I would say, like, to help him answer his question, Florida is great, okay? But I think that's where he's grown a ton, because it takes a level of maturity to stay the course. I mean, we don't win the game if Gav's not here today. That's just bottom line. We don't win the game. And so that says a lot about his maturity. And so really, really, really proud of his effort.
All right, thank you, players.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Guys.
Questions for Coach?
Coach, you talk about tempo, but you pride yourself on defense. How disappointed were you in that just first half?
Extremely disappointed. We put Lee Butler was in charge of the scout for this game, and no, our first half was atrocious. Now credit to them. I mean, they didn't. I don't know what they shoot in the first half.
60%.
Yeah, I mean they didn't miss shots. First half from 3, they went 8 for 11. I mean they did a great job getting to their spots and making shots. Now we allowed them to do that, right? I'm a firm believer in, like, there's no such thing as like a team just coming out and being hot, right? We can control that, right? We allowed guys to get to their spots, raise up, shoot jump shots over us. We had a possession, their first basket of the game, 4 seconds on the shot clock. We know that they've got to shoot the ball. The defender knows there's 4 seconds on the shot clock. We don't crawl into the guy and get a hand up. And that was Moss. So when you got a good player and he gets to watch his first one go in, sometimes you're going to be in for a long night, and we were tonight with him. I just thought our intensity wasn't there. Our talk sucked. For whatever reason, I think our guys thought that they were going to come out and lay down. And I told them that's not the case. And what happens in these situations sometimes is you give players and teams confidence. As soon as you start letting them think they can play with you and they've got a chance, well, you're in trouble. And we did that for a while, and then we had to come out in the second half and take that back.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about your play around the rim, points in the paint? You had 60 points tonight in the paint.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, all 21 of Gav's came in the paint. All 25 of Isaiah Nelson's came in the paint. You've got all Devin Hayes came at the rim. All 6 of Damian Collins came at the rim. We talked about putting pressure on the rim, right? The recipe for us to win this game wasn't going to be to come out and just jack a bunch of threes and shoot our way into playing well, right? So we wanted to come out and put pressure on the rim, and then that would open up the floor for us, and that happened.
Coach, do you do anything different from a coaching standpoint to make sure that one loss doesn't become 2?
I mean, we learn from our mistakes. We watch the film. We clean up every single game. So it's tough to do in this league with so many quick turnarounds. We've had Wednesday, Saturdays, Thursday. I mean, we've had some quick turnarounds in this league, but we clean up the film on every single game, and we don't, even after wins. I mean, we're gonna clean this up. There's gonna be a little come to Jesus tomorrow in the film room, because if with what we have remaining on our schedule, if we play that way in the first half, it's going to be too late in the second half. And so we make sure that we're not making the second or the same mistake twice. Excuse me. So just watch the film, meet with guys individually, make sure they understand where they went wrong, where things went wrong, and then we always evaluate ourselves as a coaching staff and see if we did anything wrong game plan wise, what we could have done differently. But you've always got to go back and evaluate wins and losses, though.
Coach, you talked about their early hot shooting. Y'all had 19 second chance points in the first half, 27 total. Do you believe that helped y'all stay in the game in the first half?
Yeah. Our offensive rebounding kept us in there, because otherwise we would have been in trouble. Having those 19 second chance points in the first half. I mean, if we don't do that, we're going to the locker room with a double-digit deficit for sure. Now we're in a jam coming out in the second half because instead of being down one possession, you're down 5 or 6 possessions. We're pressing, trying to claw back into it. When they hit a 3, it's a dagger, right? Instead of, we scored 9 straight, then they hit one, we're okay, right? Every possession, you're a little tighter. So, definitely kept us in. We've kind of hung our hat on that all year. Our rebounding, it's really honestly what cost us the game the other day at Temple. We didn't do a great job on the glass.
Coach, was there any defensive change to slow down Moss and Simpson in the second half?
I mean, no, other than effort, to be honest with you. Credit to them. They did a couple things in the first half. Coach Claunch did. We scouted all their actions, and they did do a great job. They made a couple adjustments based on how they've seen us guard exact same actions from other teams. They stung us on 3 under out of bounds plays where they put a wrinkle in, so that's a great job by him. And then we switched those at the half and make sure we adjusted to their adjustment. But outside of that, no, we just played with more defensive intensity in the second half than we did in the first half.
Coach, Tulsa won by 2 at FAU. It looked like Charlotte's going to get beat. This is going to be a horse race the rest of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's a good league, a lot of good teams, a lot of good players. I mean it's before it's done, they're going to pop somebody. I mean they're playing better each and every game. Credit to Coach Claunch, he's in a tough spot. Had a couple guys, I don't know if quit on him or some guys that he really depended on. I don't know what the situation is, but he's without him. And so Claunch is a good coach, does a good job. His guys play hard, as you can see. And so I think he had to make a lot of adjustments throughout the course of the season. Now he's kind of found his rotation and a group of guys that works for him. They'll pop somebody. I mean, you'll see down the stretch. I mean, it's great that we're talking about Tulsa on Sunday, and man, there's gonna be 4 or 5 teams there when it's all said and done. It's gonna come down to the last regular season game in this conference. I mean, that's just the bottom line, and so that's why we've got to make sure we don't come out again like we did in the first half today.
You talked about Gavin's growth, but what kind of potential does he have, and is he earning a few more minutes after tonight?
Yeah, I think he earned minutes. Yeah, he definitely did. I mean, you come in and play with heart like that, it's hard not to go back to him. He deserves that, right? Gavin's got to have a couple great practices going into Sunday. But, I think he's matured a lot as far as paying attention to the game plan, understanding the work ethic that it takes to be successful at this level. His shooting has came a long way. His free throw shootings came a long way. And I think he's grown a lot from a day-to-day standpoint on what it takes to be successful at this level. But definitely, if he continues and builds on what he did today, then he's definitely going to earn himself some minutes.
And what do you think about Isaiah Jones' smile?
I think it's a good thing because Zerk's kind of a pretty boy, and so now that you're not so pretty right now, right? He's missing a tooth. So I asked our trainer if we could just let it ride for the rest of the season, and he's missing an entire tooth, not just a half a tooth. We got CJ missing a half a tooth, and Isaiah Jones missing a whole tooth. So. I played my entire sophomore season of college basketball without my 2 front teeth. They got knocked out in a game, and I played the remainder of the season like that. And I think it'd be a good idea for Zerk. It just adds a little grit to him. But that obviously unfortunate. It was a flagrant foul. We knew it when we saw it on film. He took a forearm straight to the mouth. So, but he'll be all right.
Coach, back on the offensive rebounds, y'all hit double-digit offensive rebounds really quick in this game. Then you inserted Damian Collins in there with Isaiah Nelson. Was that a part of the plan? You feeling like you could dominate it even more? Is that just kind of how it felt?
Kind of fell that way today. We have been doing that for the last 4 or 5 games. Damian and Isaiah have been playing a lot together. It's very matchup dependent, obviously. But today I was just looking for guys that were going to show some heart. And when we go to our zone look. That's a lot of length with Damian and Isaiah out there together, and so that was a part of it. Some of it was foul trouble. Some of it was, let's try to see if we can just dominate the glass and put some lengths on some of these guys that are making shots.
How do you feel that duo's been doing over the past 4 or 5 games?
Defensively, great. We leave a lot to be desired on the offensive end with those two out there together, but defensively, it's been phenomenal.
Coach, there was also Arthur Jones' Day today. How important was it to honor him and his legacy?
It's unbelievable. I was able to meet Arthur at our alumni weekend here in the alumni game, and spend time with him and some of his teammates, which is pretty cool to see that bond that they still have. And then today was special because we got to have Arthur in the locker room, and our guys got to spend some time with him. And, to hear some of the stories, Joey told me some stories before on how Arthur got back involved, and how our athletic department's done a great job of doing this annually to make sure that we honor Arthur, because what Arthur did and the history there is something that needs to be celebrated. To pave the way that he did for a lot of the young men in our locker room, and that's a big deal. And you want to talk about, being uncomfortable. I can't imagine, right? I mean, to walk in here when he did and be the first African American student athlete, he's looking around. It's just him, right? And to experience some of the things that he experienced. And not only come in here as our first African-American student athlete, but to have the career that he did and set the standard moving forward, I think it's phenomenal. I love having him around. I hope we can get him around more often. He still looks like he could play a little bit. We probably could have used him a little bit tonight. They told me a story that he made it to the final cut trying out for the Kansas City Chiefs and had never played college football. I mean, it kind of tells you about the tenacity that he had and the athleticism. But it's great to have him around, and look forward to celebrating this day with him on many more years to come.
Coach, Sundays for first place, you in Tulsa. I think it's Salute to Service Day. How important is it to make this place rock?
It's a big deal. Salute to Service, first and foremost, is a very, very special day and special game for me. My grandfather was a World War II prisoner of war, spent 362 days in a Nazi prison camp. He's a true American hero, Purple Heart. He was 21 years old when he was in prison camp. He weighed 87 pounds. It wasn't until I was older until he told me some of the stories and some of the things that he experienced. And I just think about being 21 years old and doing some of the things that he had to do. One of the things I'm probably most proud of is his plane was shot down, and that's how he ended up in prison camp. And I hate to give you a history lesson here, but it's very near and dear to my heart. It's one of the most important things in my life. You talk about a commitment to your country. He was free to go home. He had completed all of his missions. And they asked for volunteers to do five more missions. He was in the, back then there was no Air Force, he was in the Army Air Corps, and he was a gunner on a B-17 bomber. And on his first volunteer mission after he was free to go home, his plane was shot down. And he was one of two survivors on the plane and was in prison camp for 362 days. And so I learned at a very young age to how much respect and admiration we need to have for people in service. And celebrate them any chance we get, because what we're doing on a daily basis in life's not hard. What those people are doing every day on a daily basis is hard. So first and foremost, really excited to pay homage to the people, the men and women in our services, and also, yes, we got a big game on Sunday. Tulsa's playing great basketball right now. They're going to be fired up to play us. We beat them in their place and played really well. And like you said, it'll be for, at the time, first place, right? And so we've got to get a lot better between now and then. But whatever we got to do to pack this place out, it's a big deal. We need a great home court advantage here on Sunday. We need all hands on deck. Tell your friends to tell friends. I'll do anything I can on my part. These guys deserve it. It's going to be a high-level college basketball game. We need to have the Yingling Center rocking.
Coach, I got to follow up on that. He survived 25 missions, then volunteered.
Yes, he volunteered.
That's
volunteered for 5 more, and was shot down.
That's above and beyond.
On the next mission. Yeah.
Is he still with us?
No, we lost him. almost 8 years ago now. And but he's my hero. He's just even more. He lied about his age to fight for his country. He went to war at 17 years old, and so our family's foundation is built on that. And you know, it's just I learned a lot from him about the daily commitment of the people in the armed forces across the board. And I remind our guys sometimes when we have those dog days of the summer or dog days of fall camp, right? When they're like, man, this is hard. This isn't hard. College basketball's not hard, right? That's hard. Leaving your family, going to war, that's hard. And so really looking forward to the Salute to Service game. I think it's a great thing. I really do. And you know, I'll personally buy tickets for any people in the military here locally. I don't know what the promo is for that as far as tickets. If we don't have free tickets for them, I'll buy them. I'd love to have them here, whatever we can do. Obviously, we have strong ties here locally in Tampa to the military with having the base here. But whatever we can do to get them in the building, I'll buy the tickets. I'm in.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank you.